Great, so welcome back to grade 7 math. So we're now looking at chapter 4.5 in our lessons, and this is basically what we're doing is we're looking at patterns. So we're still looking at patterns, but now we're going to graph them on graph paper. So using a scatter plot, we're going to convert our table of values. So if you're given the following table of values, how can we now plot them or put them on a graph and look for any patterns that when you put them on a scatter plot? So the way we're going to do that is we're going to convert our term numbers to the x-coordinate. So our term numbers will become x-coordinate, and our term value will be the y-coordinate. So for example, term number 1, term value 3, becomes coordinate 1, 3, because the 1 is the x value, which is the term number, and the y is the term value. This makes sense because when you change x, it will also change y, because x is independent, and the independent changes the dependent variable. And the way we graph this is that x is on the horizontal axis, y is on the vertical axis. So we could just, if you want to take a ruler and join up these axes. So x here, we'll just put a label that this is the term number, and y is the term value. And so we convert all of our table of values. So term number 1 has term value 3, becomes coordinate 1, 3. So if I plot this on my chart, I read x coordinate first, y coordinate next. So this is point 1, 3. Then we can continue on with the rest of our table of values. So term number 2 has a term value of 4. So 2, 4 is the next coordinate. And lastly, 3, 5 is the third coordinate that I have here. So I plot those very quickly. So this is 2, 4 and 3, 5. So my question is, name other term number, term value pairs or coordinate pairs that continue on the same pattern. Well, if we see these 3 dots, and normally you need 3 dots to find a pattern because it either makes a straight line or a curve. In this case, it makes a straight line. And I'm not very good at drawing straight lines using this, but if I continue this straight line that way, and I continue it that way, I can find other predicted points that meet this pattern. So this is what we are given. We're given this pattern, and we are now going to predict more points based on that pattern. So if I continue on, well, I see this point, it continues on the pattern, and this is, if I read the coordinates, 4, 6. So we predict the following term number, term value pairs. We predict 4, 6 to be part of this pattern. We can continue on and see what else is on this line. We call this line a trend line, or sometimes you might hear it called the line of best fit or the pattern line. So basically this is the pattern line. So we saw 4, 6. Now we'll also see this point here is also on this line, and that's 5, 7. So is 6, 8. And so is 7, 9. There's also another one on our graph. Not only are we given these, not only do we predict these, but we're also predicting anything that's below the line or on the left side of the line. So that means this point right here is also another prediction. What's the name of this point? This point is 0, 2. So what we can do is when we're given a certain pattern and we plot it on a graph, we can continue the line. So if we know this part, we can continue the line up or down to find other possible term numbers or term value pairs that would fit that pattern. So in class, the next class, we're going to go over a specific example in class, and then we're going to look at some more examples from the textbook. But hopefully you understood this concept of putting a pattern on a graph. And let's use an orange smiley face today. So hopefully you understood this lesson.